This is the library that I use in all of my projects when I need to upload files. And today, I'm going to teach you how to set it up. Are you ready? So without further ado, let's get straight to it. So I just created here a base code that we can start working with. The only thing that you're going to see here is an input with our own change, which is going to call the handle on change. That basically is going to see if there's not a file, then it's going to console log no file selected. But if there's a file, then it's going to say file selected. Okay, so let me just show you this working. So when I select the file, you're going to see that the file is being console logged here. And yeah, so first of all, this is the library that I was talking about, is upload thing. You're going to see how easy it is to set up the library. All right, so the first thing that you need to do is, of course, click here and get started for free. It's going to ask you to sign in with a GitHub account, and once you are signed in, then you're going to be redirected to this page. All right, so then what you have to do is click here on create new app. All right, and it's going to ask some information about the app, okay, such as app name. I'm going to say like test1. And then you can select the plan option that you want. There's a paid version where you have 100 gigabytes of file storage, which I think is not necessary for this purpose of the video. And then you have one that is free, that you only have 2 gigabytes of file uploads. All right, I'm going to go with this plan. And then you can select here the region. Me selecting on Portland, USA, don't really matter. And then you finally can create the app. All right, so just like this, your storage is done. Okay, and then you can go here on API keys, and here on API keys is where you're going to find your upload token credentials. All right, so you can click here on copy, and then you go over to your code, and then in the root of the file explorer, you're going to create a .env file. All right, and then you just have to paste it down here. All right, so if you want, you can use mine, but I think it's way easier to create your own. But anyways, you have your the upload thing token, and with this we can go to the next step. So what I usually do when I upload files, I create here a new folder that's going to be services. Okay, and then I create here the bucket.ts. all right, or you can name it storage. I'm going to name, or you can name like storage as you want. All right, so here I'm going to export an async function, which is going to be named load, and then here we can create a const that is going to be storage, which is just going to include for now one method that is going to be the upload. All right, and then finally you can export the storage like this. All right, just to keep our code like beautiful, you can export like this, and then you have just the storage being exported. All right, so the job of this function is to get a file. Okay, and a file is a file like this. Okay, and to actually upload this, we need to create a REST API. All right, so this file cannot be submitted right here on this function. We cannot upload this right here in this function. What you need to do instead is to create a REST API. All right, so we have this, right, and then what we're going to do is create a from data like this, which is going to be a new form data. And then inside of this form data, we are going to append a property named file. All right, and we are going to insert the file that we got from the props right here on the form data. Okay, so what we can do with this, we can get a response. All right, which we are going to get from the fetch, where we're going to call the API/upload. All right, and then since we are posting something, we have to say that the method is going to be post. All right, make sure you do that, and then you can send the body, which is only going to be the form data. Okay, and then I'm going to get like data like this, and then I'm going to await, and then get the JSON like this, and it's just going to console log the data like this. All right, so as you may know, this API/upload API point is not created yet. So what we're going to do now is create this real quick. Okay, so here inside of app, we are going to create a new folder which is going to be API, and inside of API we're going to have the upload. All right, so it's the same thing that we have here. So first API, then upload. And to make this API, we have to create the route.css, where is real similar how page routing works. All right, and then finally here on the route, as you saw here, we created a method of post. So here we have to export an async function of post like this. Okay, so we need to get first the request. All right, we're going to name it request like this, and inside of the request we're going to find the form data. Okay, which is simply we are going to await the request.form data. Okay, so we're going to get the content from here, from the form data. Okay, and as you saw, we inserted the file inside of the form data, right? So we are going to get here the file from the form data. Okay, and we're going to say that this is going to be a file, and finally we can upload it to the storage or to upload thing. All right, but before doing that, we have to have the client for the upload thing. Okay, so I'm going to create here a new folder which is going to be upload thing, and inside of upload thing I'm going to have the index.ts. The only thing that I'm going to do in this file is import Utah API, which by the way I have to install the library. Okay, so this is coming from upload thing. Okay, so let me just import it real quick. So let me hit on the terminal and say npm install upload thing. Okay, and we're going to get Utah API /server. Okay, and finally we can just export a const named Utah PI, which is going to be just a new Utah PI, just like this, and you have to initialize. There we go. All right, with this we can go back to the route that we were doing, and here inside of the route we are going to get a response from Utah API. Okay, so we're going to upload files, and here you can upload more than one file. In our case we're just uploading one, okay, which is this one here. So I'm going to just upload this. So upload files, I'm going to upload this file, and then I can return. So this is mandatory. You always has to return a response. In our case we're going to return a response of JSON like this, with a response here inside. Okay, so we have to import this next response from next server, and of course this is not always going to work, so we have to surround this inside of a try catch. Okay, so here inside of try we're going to do this, so in case everything goes right, this is what is going to happen, and if something goes wrong, then we're going to return a next response of JSON like this, where we're just going to pass the error, and the status is going to be 500. Okay, so internal server error. All right, so then we can go back to the storage, and then we can go back to the page. Instead of doing the console log, what we can do is import the storage, and inside of the storage we're going to import the upload, and inside of the upload props we're going to insert the file. Let's see if that actually works. All right, so I'm going to refresh the page, open the terminal, and here I'm going to upload a file, and I'll click upload, and you can see that this is compiling API upload, and then we get a data in return. All right, so inside of this data we get the app URL, file hash, the key, let's modify the name, the size, the type, and the most important thing, the URL. All right, so we can go even further. All right, so here we can return the URL right away. Okay, so here this is going to be, so it's going to be return data. The data may not exist, so it's going to be data dot data, so the data here inside, and finally the URL. Okay, so and once we have that, we can create here a state. So here's going to be URL and set URL, which is going to be a use state from React, like this. And then here, once we get the URL, so I'm going to get the URL, I'm going to get like the response. I can set URL as the response. All right, and of course you have to turn this into a sync, so we can set this as a wait like this. And just down here, I'm going to create an image component. I'm going to insert an image component from next image, where the width of 100 and the height is also going to be 100. The source is going to be URL. All right, and we're only going to show the image if you have some URL. All right, so let's see if that actually works. So let me choose a file right here and upload it, and you're going to get the error from Next.js that the hostname is not configured. Let me just fix this real quick. So what you have to do to fix this is just go to next.config.ts, and here you have to add the host name inside of remote patterns, which is going to be inside of images. Okay, so this is basically saying to Next.js that we trust this host name, so this is going to let us use it. All right, so let me refresh and try this again. All right, so going back to the app, let me choose the file again and let me insert this. All right, let me see how this is working. We are compiling the API/upload, and once we compiled, we set the post, and there we go. We can see the image right here below the button. All right, so this is just a quick trick that you can use to upload things in Next.js very, very fast. And remember, this not only works with images, also works with videos. You can also submit videos. You can also submit files, PDFs, anything that you imagine. All right, it just has to be a file. So this is it, and I see you in the next one.